In less than 2 days, spring is here, and that means it's time to do some cleaning, but not in a scrub floors, wash windows way of thinking. But how about spring cleaning your life? New York Times bestselling author Peggy McColl with 5 things to consider when doing some life cleaning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Amanda.
You know, this might be difficult work to do, but I think I would prefer it over scrubbing the floors and, cleaning under the beds, right?
I'm with you on that one.
All right, so you're going to walk us through 5 things that we should think about, starting with clean your routine.
Exactly. I like the saying, do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Yes.
So what can you do this morning? Or in the morning, I do gratitude every day, and that just gets me off to a great start. I'm feeling good, regardless of what's going on in your life. So put something into your routine that is a feel-good experience that's going to lead to something better in your life.
And I think sometimes when we look at our routine, if we really wrote down everything we do every day, there are things that we have to do. Okay, we have to go to work, right? But there are some things that we kind of mix into our day that if we look back on it and write it down, we may say, I don't really need to do that. It's not really doing anything for me, right?
So true. You're absolutely right about that. There's just so much more that we can get done in a day. I mean, we're just tapping into a tiny potential of what we can actually accomplish.
Right. So we'll maybe put some more positive things into our routine instead. We also want to clean our friends list.
Well, I'm not saying get rid of your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got friends in our life for different reasons. I'm just saying that, if your desire is to, create more success in your life, find some folks that are like-minded thinkers. You could always, create a mastermind, if you will, and start hanging out with people that are more like the way you would love to live your life, or the more like the way you would like to become, because you can feed off their energy too.
Right, and they say, the people you hang around with, exactly, you kind of become more like one another. You can help one another achieve the things that you want to achieve, right?
So true.
Yeah. Clean your thoughts. I think this one would probably be the most difficult one for me.
I agree. I think it's difficult for everyone because we're so habitual even in our thinking. But the truth is we think 70,000 thoughts a day. And the majority of those thoughts apparently are negative. I'm not sure how they actually track that. But you could put reminders around. That's what I do. I have these little cards all around me, little signs. And those reminders always put me back on track. I have one sign here on my desk that says, I live in the joyous expectancy of the best. And even if you're, having some challenges or whatever, I glance over there and I see that, and it just puts me in better thinking space.
Yeah, it changes your perspective on things and go, okay, maybe it's not so bad, right? Or it could, we could do something to make it better. Clean your goals.
Yeah, well, most people don't have goals, but if you're going to set a goal, I suggest that you simply answer this question: what would I love? What would I really love? So get some goals that you're really excited about, something that you'd love to experience. And the most valuable lesson I've ever learned about goals is you don't have to know how. You do have to set the goal, though, and I think it's time for people to sit down and set some goals of what they'd really love.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. A lot of people don't even have goals, and I think that that's a really interesting thing for us to take a beat, stop and think about it and say, you know what, yeah, maybe I don't have any goals and maybe I should set some. And as you said, you don't have to know the how part, right? You'll figure it out as time goes on, right?
Absolutely.
The final thing is clean your schedule.
Yeah, again, it's really related to routine, but there's more we can do. And what I love to do is I like to carve out time in my agenda for things that are going to be positive, either for rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, or to get something done. Like Savvy Wisdom, my 19th book, I decided to write it on November the 1st, 2020. And then I went into my agenda and I just found hours that I could block off for the writing part. And I decided it was going to be fun. And I had the best time ever writing this book. It's a very different kind of book. It's a fiction book. It's a parable based on my own life. But I wouldn't have accomplished that if I didn't go into my schedule and block off time to get it done.
Yeah, and it pays to be organized sometimes. Just get in there, look at your schedule. And like you said, though, set some time aside for yourself every day, because we know that that's really difficult and challenging, and there are only so many hours in the day, but it is that important to give ourselves some time, like you, to sit down and write, do something that makes us happy, right?
Absolutely. That wasn't even in my plan last year, but the thought popped into my consciousness and thought, oh, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that. And I just got on with the work.
And there you go. And you had a great time doing it, Peggy. Some really great tips as we start the new spring season, and some things to consider. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Amanda.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Well, today is it. Today's the day you need